Hey everybody, this is Cameron from Obnoxious Anonymous. As you probably just saw, Manny dropped your camera again. Welcome to the Twin Peaks Part 14 watch along. We are like the Dreamer, written by Mark Frost and David Lynch, and of course directed by the man himself, David Lynch. Mandy, how's it going? You need to control your camera over there.
I know. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing a little better today.
Good.
It's been a rough week.
Yeah. Yeah, it has.
In a lot of ways, actually, and not just the way maybe you're thinking of. Why don't we start with, well, we'll start with the big news. The fact is that YouTube freaked out earlier this week and suspended my main channel for about 4 days or so. It just got lifted this morning. Basically, somebody stupidly flagged my channel again, and YouTube stupidly complied again. I appealed it. I won. Yay, yay for me. Small victory.
Yay.
Small victory. But so I can now post things on the channel. Yay, because they said I was going to be banned for at least 2 weeks. And now I can post things over 15 minutes again, which is great because these videos are typically over 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's I don't know, but anyway, in the meantime, I was looking for alternatives, and we've set up a new home over on the VidMe platform, and it's going really well so far. We have about 300 subscribers, over 5,000 views or so in 3 days, which if you look at a lot of their numbers, that's pretty good for a new channel being formed on. But then again, we have a built-in audience that's kind of following over. But I've known 2 other YouTubers, pretty big ones actually, they're still posting on YouTube, as I probably will be too, to some extent. But they're setting up shop over there as well. I mean, YouTube has not become, it has become a sort of not so safe space for YouTube content creators, or content creators as a whole. They seem intent and kind of driving this platform into the ground, and just having large channels with 100,000 to a million subscribers or so kind of thrive, or their own YouTube TV thing they're trying to push. Anybody who has kind of a smaller channel, doesn't matter to them. I mean, they'll squeeze you out, even if they're making hundreds and hundreds of dollars off your ad revenue, and you're not seeing any of it. And all it takes is just a few, jerks to go, "Oh, I don't like this opinion," or "I want this guy off YouTube," and you get, a person with, 5 or 6 accounts, or a bunch of people get together and, hey, let's get rid of this guy, and YouTube complies. So, as a content creator on YouTube for years who had no problems whatsoever until the last 6 weeks, when all of a sudden all hell's breaking loose. And I really think it's because people are getting antsy for this new season. I think they're worried that this is not gonna wrap up, and people are on an emotional craziness right now. And so if there's somebody they don't like, or I say something, or somebody says something they don't like, instead of disagreeing in the comments, it's just now cool to, take down. And I really don't want to get up in the morning and look at my YouTube account and be scared that a video got ripped down, or the channel got ripped down, or something of that nature. I want to, like the good old days, look at my account and be like, oh, cool, but it's just not like that anymore. And especially since they've ripped 60 to 70% of a lot of people I know, including my own, monetization off the channel. There's little incentive to even stay on YouTube except to utilize something like a Google Hangout, or if you have a small little video and you're not too worried about it, or just throw it up there. But for the most part, I really want to preserve this kind of historical legacy I feel that these Twin Peaks videos have been for the last 5 years, and I don't want them gone. So I've set up shop on VidMe, and yeah, so that's where we're gonna be at home for a while. So I don't know. It seems like a pretty cool place. It's kind of like YouTube the way it was before Google purchased it. Where you could post what you want and not worry about repercussions from from Google getting antsy about whatever. And then also, if you have a problem, there's email, there's a phone number you can call and talk to somebody. They said a person will answer you and talk with you about whatever your concern is. They said even if you want to call and chat, just give. I don't see that ever from YouTube.
Wow,
so
that's impressive.
This site really wants to be, in their words, the most content creator friendly streaming site on the internet. And so I figure, you know what, it's worth it to give them my business and see like where that goes from here. And it looks like so far, it's doing pretty well. Obviously, it's not going to get the traffic that YouTube has. YouTube, is huge. But I'd rather protect the videos than, have every video hit, 12 to 16,000 views,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Obviously, if a lot of people come to those videos, great. But I'd rather just get up in the morning and know that the videos are protected somewhere.
Yeah. So. Yeah. No, that's good. I'm glad you found that. How did you hear about that?
Well, people have been getting in touch with me for a long time about different platforms ever since the first strike happened at the end of June. And so I've been looking at stuff, and I hadn't really been satisfied with what I was seeing. And then Alice Lynch, who is always in the comments and has been on this video before, she, by the way, she posted this hilarious video of me last night.
Yeah, I saw it. That was really cute. Good job, Alice.
With her and Frank and myself. The conversation is lively around dinner, I think it's called, or something like that. It's quite funny. She reached out to me and she said, you should look at VidMe. And then a couple other people that I know on YouTube that have pretty big audiences, they were saying they were looking at it. So I figured, okay, I'm going to look at it and see what I think. And there wasn't, at least in my mind, there wasn't any red flags. And I look for, I look for those red flags, and there wasn't any. And what's nice about it is, once you sign up, they give you a gigabyte limit, and they say, your videos can't be over 30 minutes until you get verified. So I did the verification process. It only took 2 days and I got verified. So now I have no limitations in terms of, yes, you can't upload things more than 20 gigabytes, but when am I going to do that anytime soon? And and I can upload any length. So, it's great stuff. And they even, not that anyone utilizes this stuff, but they even have a tip button if anyone wants to donate and stuff. I don't see that on YouTube.
Wow. Huh.
So anyway, I'm quite happy and pleased with what I'm seeing so far. So keep your fingers crossed, everybody. And we're going to keep the YouTube channel going, but I'm not going to be posting on it as much as I am going to be the VidMe channel. So if you want to obviously see all the instant reactions and watch alongs and thought of the day videos, they're going to go straight to the VidMe channel. There's just no point in putting them on the main channel anymore if this is the kind of crap I'm going to have to deal with, So anyway, next bit of news that was also shocking. Twin Peaks actor Jeremy Lindholm arrested for second-degree attempted murder. Now, TMZ, I believe, broke this story. I could be wrong. And somebody posted about it. I was not aware of this until after I got home, but I guess earlier in the day, somebody posted about this on the Twin Peaks log posting Facebook page. And it kept getting ripped down as like, no, we're not going to discuss this. I'm not part of that site, so I don't know, but I did hear from several people that it had gotten ripped down repeatedly. So apparently, Twin Peaks fans are supposed to just be like this and not discuss anything. What's shocking to me about this is the fact that Jeremy, I should say, I say Jeremy, I'm sorry, but that's just the way I pronounce it a lot of times. He and I had been in touch for weeks, and he was going to come on with us on the last watch along, and he was going to come on with Hal and me for the last instant reaction for part 14. He couldn't do it on part 14 because he was getting ready for something. He messaged me.
Oh.
So that kind of surprised me when I saw that what had happened. Yeah, we had gotten in touch through his management team, and he was working around his rehearsal schedule to come on and do one of the videos with either you or me, or Hal, myself. And so
wow.
I mean, can you imagine if he had done the video and then this happened?
No. No, I mean it was shocking because you see footage of him from the festival and stuff, and it's like it seems like a nice normal guy, and then maybe something snapped. Like I don't know, but I mean it's still news. It still should be discussed. But yeah, what a shock. You just never know, right? And obviously we don't know the whole story. We don't know.
But they have video. They have video of it.
Okay, well. So I redact what I just said.
I mean, we don't know obviously the specifications of it, but at the same time, though, they know he did it.
It's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy.
Well, that by itself is crazy, right? But the fact that he was about to be on one of our videos is what makes it even crazier.
Yeah.
I wonder if his character comes back at all in this new series. I mean, there's been a lot of people who just show up for one moment here and there, but for him to be riding in a car with Harry Dean Stanton, it's kind of a big moment. Mm-hmm. So I'm almost wondering if he does come back, because that's going to be a little shocking if he comes back now.
Yeah, I mean, he's directly connected to Linda, and we still have not heard boo about her. So, I mean, I would think that he would be back at some point, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I couldn't believe it when I read it. I was like, what on earth? So yeah, I just couldn't believe how close he came to being on these videos, and then he couldn't do it because he said he had rehearsal and he was getting ready for something, and he'd be in touch. Well, I don't think he's going to be in touch for a while.
No, and that's okay. Oh man.
And the last bit of news, somebody posted this to Sabrina Sutherland's Facebook page. I don't know why people post this kind of stuff to, producers and stuff. It's like, can't you just post about it on I don't know. People they want a quote, from somebody, give us what you think about this. And it was an article saying that Twin Peaks, the last episode, ranked 150 of the top 150 shows playing on cable that day.
Wow.
I'm not surprised.
No.
I've been saying this for a long time that nobody's watching this show anymore. Mm-hmm. Yes, I understand people are making people are making the argument that people aren't watching live, they're watching after the fact, they're streaming it and that type of thing. But Twin Peaks to me is, if you are a fan of it, if you are a major fan of it, it's appointment television, like the way people are with Game of Thrones. You don't wait unless you absolutely have to. You're not waiting 2 or 3 days to catch up on an episode of Twin Peaks. You're there the moment it comes out, so you don't get spoiled on the internet.
Yeah. So
yes, Showtime was incredibly happy with the amount of subscribers they got from this new series. They definitely did well. But I want to know, what are they planning to do to keep the subscribers? Because as far as I'm aware of, and from everyone I've talked to, I think 80-90% of the people are going to jump ship the moment the show is over. And then they're going to see a record drop. So yeah, they can be as happy as they want to be, but it's just it's just all going to collapse in a few weeks. Mm-hmm. At least that's the way I feel. And I don't really care about the ratings myself, because obviously I think it's a great show, but it does matter in terms of Showtime even wanting to discuss with Lynch a possibility of coming back with, if not Twin Peaks, then another project. Because if it's just like completely in the gutter, why would they even discuss with Lynch or Lynch and Frost about even doing another show? If not Twin Peaks, the next season. Maybe they want to bring back On the Air for a season. I don't know. Maybe they want to bring back Hotel Room and compete against the HBO Hotel Room, the show they're doing with the Duplass brothers. Yeah, so I mean that's the only reason why ratings matter for that. Otherwise it really doesn't matter, except that it does change the headline. Showtime, even if Showtime, even people are subscribed and they're streaming it, Showtime doesn't want to see articles being online saying that their top show that they invested a lot of money and time into is the least ranked show in the history of of that weekend. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not completely sold that the thought of an extra season is legitimate, because I feel like what we've been given is just a standalone art piece, And do you really think that if this did well enough, or Showtime was excited enough about it, that they would, talk with them about bringing it back? And would they actually do that? Do you think that they would continue on with this show?
I don't know anything from the inside here, but my personal opinion is this: it's not coming back.
Yeah.
And I don't believe it's not coming back because Showtime doesn't want it to come back. I think it's not coming back because it's going to be wrapped up in some way.
Yeah.
Listen, this new series was announced in 2014. Frost and Lynch had been working on it for a few years before that. It didn't come out until 2017. So you're talking about, what, 6-7 years from inception to release? What makes people think that Lynch and Frost are going to just turn around in another 18 hours in a year?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's not going to happen. Of course, there's some conspiracy people out there, and listen, if they're right, God bless them. They're saying that maybe Lynch and Frost secretly shot season 4 too with this. But my argument against that is, well, when they went from 9 to 18 episodes, I assumed that's how we were going to get season 4. I thought the first 9 was going to be this new season, and I thought the back 9 was going to be next year. So that way Showtime would keep the subscribers for at least 2 years. But they went with it all as one big chunk. So what is Showtime going to do when everyone jumps ship? Maybe they just love having the prestige of knowing that they put on Twin Peaks, and maybe they'll get some projects that normally would go straight to HBO. Maybe they'll come to them first. Maybe that's their idea, their thinking. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it worked out really well for them initially, but even if people are watching and streaming, it doesn't matter when there's articles being written saying that it's the lowest ranked show on, in TV that week. That does not make Showtime feel good and think, you know what we got to do? Renew that.
Yeah.
Or let's bring back the creators of that and bring on another show. They don't want to be last. They want to be in front of HBO. So, just from a business point of view, I don't see it. From an artistic point of view, I don't see Lynch and Frost doing it, especially since Mark Frost's book is called The Final Dossier. I can't imagine the final. This isn't the Friday the 13th series where you can say the final chapter and then the next year release another movie. So, yeah. I mean,
I agree.
Obviously, if they come out and they say, hey, it's coming back, I'll be, jumping for joy around here. Yeah. But I think it's best for people just to assume it's not coming back and just enjoy what you get.
Yeah.
Until they start allowing other creators to, write fiction or do short films in this world. I think eventually that might happen. It's a very rich world, and there's a lot of things that haven't been explored.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially with the 25-year gap. I mean, there's a lot of tales in there that could be explored as well. So, guess we will see. And so it's been a crazy week for us Twin Peaks fans, and that, and then of course with the what was going on with these Russian things happening that John Thorne and Mark Frost confirmed online that they were legitimate. I had Eric writing me because Eric doesn't care about spoilers. He was saying, I read them and they don't seem believable at all. And I was saying that's probably why they're believable, is because because if someone said to me, well, in this new episode, Andy finds Nido in the woods, and I'd be like, what are you talking about? You're crazy. Oh, Sarah Palmer, rips her face off and then eats a trucker. I don't believe that one instant.
No.
And then it happens.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So yeah, be wary of any spoilers out there. I don't know anything. I don't want to know anything. We are 4 episodes away and 3 weeks away from it being over. We're almost to the finish line. I think that was the most frustrating part about the whole YouTube experience this week. It's like we're almost to the end and they completely shut me down. I mean, they've relented now, but still they shut me down, and that was very hurtful. I was just like, I was a wreck. And the funny thing about it is it happened the day that you and I were going to do this watch along, and the last time this happened was the day you and I were going to do a watch along. So I think you're cursed.
I know, it's like I'm like a bad luck charm or something.
Well, people love you anyway, so
that's good.
All right, everybody, we're going to be doing this part 14 watch along here in a few seconds. I'm doing it off the Showtime streaming site, and we're going to start this in a few seconds. But before we do, I just want to say thank you to everybody in the chat here. We have a lot of cool people here. You guys, thank you for finding this this link. We have Katrina here, Wilton, Carolina, George, Philip, Alice is here. Let's see who else. Looks like Leonard's here. Katrina's here. Let's see. Dub is here. And that's about it right now. We've got a small crew. We don't have the 500 like we used to. But that's all right. It allows me to actually read people's comments for once.
Yeah.
George says, "We love you, Mandy."
Yay, thank you.
Wilton says, "I'm making sure I keep myself away from the spoilers all the time. I want the surprise." Let's see. Wilton watched on the air this week and he loved it. Dub says, "The ratings don't matter. It's not like there's advertising, only subscriptions matter." Again, though, when they all jump ship after this is over, that's going to be a problem. And yes, while the ratings don't matter per se, it doesn't look good when articles, again, are being written saying that the show is a tragic failure. Not that I think it's a tragic failure, but in terms of ratings, that's what they claim it is. So let's see here. Alice is in the chat, and everyone's all happy to see her. And yeah, so people are, of course, shocked by the whole Jeremy situation, as anybody is. And Alexander's in the chat wanting to know where to find the Russian links. You don't want to see them, Alexander. Please, you're 3 weeks away. Just relax. Yeah. And
enjoy the ride.
Luba is here as well. Great to see everybody. All right, Mandy, let's start this thing.
Okay.
And I've been very busy this week, so I haven't had a lot of time to kind of go deep into this episode, but hopefully I'll be able to say some insightful things. So Mandy, I'm going to be counting on you this week.
Okay.
to pull us through this as much as possible.
I don't know how I'm going to, because I've only watched it 5 times.
Well, there you go. Perfect. All right, so we're going to start this. I got this Showtime thing going on, but I'll let you know when it says Showtime Presents. Okay. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hit play. Alrighty. Showtime. I like the little trademark thing at the bottom. A Showtime original series here. Oh, they got Matt LeBlanc episodes. Did you ever see that show? Episodes?
I watched, I think, the first season. I don't like shows where actors play themselves. It just bugs me.
The cartoon version of themselves as well.
Yeah. I like Matt LeBlanc a lot, but this, I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, no, let's bring back Joey Showtime.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. That did well.
Hey, I actually didn't mind that show.
No, I think I made it through like the pilot and I was like, no, I'm out.
All right. So, and Showtime presents. Here we are. And, oh, we got the black and white Rancherosa with the red. Very scary stuff.
Yeah, a blackout Rancherosa. It's kind of interesting.
So overall, Mandy, while these opening credits are going, what did you think of this part? I thought it was a fantastic episode.
Yeah, it was great from start to finish. There was no real lag time. Even the noises in the jail, I loved every second of that. I laughed all the way through it. I think this is creeping into like top 2. I'm still between 11 and 14 are my favorites so far. So it was just beautifully done. It was everything we've dreamt about in Twin Peaks, everything we've come to love. It just, mystery and quirkiness and horror
and answering things.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just, they literally just spoon fed us everything we wanted in this episode. And I don't know. I loved it.
But even the things that we may not have, cared about, they everything's interesting in this episode.
Yeah. Everything. Yeah.
It's what they say in the business, all killer, no filler.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even the Roadhouse stuff seemed like it was tied into the story. So. Finally,
like there was context, and that was so nice to see.
Right. So. Now this episode begins in Buckhorn, South Dakota, and right away we get the Gordon Cole calling Lucy scene here. It seems funny. Before she answers the phone, she seems pretty pleased with herself about something. It probably was Lynch giving her direction about something. She was laughing, and they cut that part out. But she's been dealing with Gordon Cole for a while. She's in season 1, she's the one that patches him in to talk to Cooper in the conference room. Mm-hmm. So she's going to recognize his voice. So Gordon calls or is patched into Frank, and welcome back, Mandy.
Do not know what is going on today.
Anyway, so Cole is talking to Frank right now, and he informs him that Harry is sick. And again, another Harry reference. They are just making sure we know that Harry is alive and he's off screen. This isn't like a throwaway line in episode 1 where he says, "Oh yeah, Harry's kind of sick," and that's it. I mean, they've made Harry a presence in this series, even though he's not here.
Yeah. Yeah. But it is, I mean, and people have pointed out about this scene too, is that why is this the only thing that he's talking to Gordon about is the pages from the diary? Like, there's a lot of things going on there, but maybe that will play out later on. I don't know.
Well, and also, I mean, those things may not pertain to the FBI. They think it's a local matter. Mm-hmm. Because they don't know if all that stuff pertains to Cooper. They think it pertains to just Major Briggs.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But I think it's funny that he just kind of says, two Coopers. Like it's just, that's what I love about the Trumans. They're just so matter of fact about everything.
Yeah, exactly. And Gordon's so sweet too. He's just like, I wish you both the best, and like, just, I love how there's still that maintained relationship after all these years. So Yeah.
even though he's never talked to Frank before.
Yeah, but there's still like, Twin Peaks is still important, and it's great. So.
Now, this is quite a setup for a hotel room with Albert and Tammy. They definitely came prepared. I didn't see them bring out this much stuff with them when they got off the plane.
Yeah, and they've only been there, like, I think it's only been like a couple of days, right?
Right, right. So Albert is briefing Tammy on the first Blue Rose case. Again, I think it's amazing that we're getting this much context into the nature of the Blue Rose cases. It was just kind of a throwaway thing in Fire Walk with Me. Now it's there's a Blue Rose team, a task force,
Yeah.
And then bringing up Lois Duffy. Again, this idea of a doppelganger, having two of the same person.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
And how one of, like, when Lois Duffy on the ground dies, and then the other one, that's when their eyes are open to the new one. So that makes me think too, like, if they had two Coopers in the same room, would they actually recognize both of them at the same time? You know what I mean? Like,
right, but obviously only one can remain, because after the Lois says, I'm like the Blue Rose, she disappeared.
yeah.
So, do you think this is foreshadowing of things to come? Is there going to be, because let's be honest here, there's not going to be a big Cooper versus Cooper fight at the end of the series.
No, they're not. But they will have to be together at some point, or else what would be the point of Andy's vision, right? Of seeing both of them.
Well, his point is to say there's two of one,
Yeah, I'm not. Obviously, we have no idea what's going to happen, but it's
right.
Yeah.
Now this window washer guy shows up and makes all these sounds, which is funny because this reminds me a lot of Naito in the jail cell.
Yeah.
The kind of like the dolphin talk.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, it's just so random and weird. This whole thing. It's like someone trying to break into this house or something. And
yeah, and David Lynch's face is just like,
well, he's mirroring what we're thinking, because
Well, yeah. I mean, I was contorting my face with him because it's just so awkward. So he's just hilarious.
Right. All right, here comes Diane with the revelation that Janie E is her half sister. So here's my question to you. Do you think Albert and Gordon already know this? I think they do.
Why do you think that?
Because why do they ask her about it? Why do they bring up the ring to her?
Oh, yeah.
With Dougie and Janie E. Because when she says, I have a sister named Jane, Albert doesn't look too shocked by this. And I think they're trying to test to see how much truth she's going to give.
And it's not like they wouldn't have done, multiple background checks. They know every single thing about Diane. I mean, they would have to. So they would know that she has a sister or a half sister. There would be, they would have gone through all the family lines and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know. That was an interesting twist, though. I didn't see that coming.
No, but it does make sense, because over the years, Laura Dern and Naomi Watts have been. I've read stories where they've gone to David Lynch's house over the last 10 years and pitched him ideas. And one of the ideas was that they were going to be sisters in a movie, and they wanted to do that. Well, this is Lynch taking everything that he's been wanting to do over the last 40 years of his career and kind of plugging it in so it makes sense. Let's make them half sisters.
Yeah.
And but this opens up Pandora's box for me, or like the blue box in Mulholland Drive, because if she is aware that Janie is married to Dougie, and even the original Dougie looked like Kyle MacLachlan, right? Mm-hmm. Then she has to be complicit with the doppelganger in creating Dougie. I mean, yes, she's supposed to be a strange sister, but come on. I mean, I'm sure she got a Christmas card with their picture with Sonny Jim.
Yeah, that could be, but we're just so on the line of knowing what Diane's role in this is and what her role with Evil Cooper is, that, I mean, I can't see her being part of the manufacturing process, but this show continually surprises me, so I have no idea. I didn't ever expect to see Jay Ferguson in this either.
I just can't believe that Diane would go 20 years without knowing what her sister's husband looks like.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, but I mean, who knows?
So this part really surprised me, just like the window washer, when the FBI guy starts screaming at him. You know, this is what we do here. At first, I mean, with Hal, I was saying, God, it just seemed like a weird thing. I mean, and not just like your normal weird thing. I mean, just like it was like, what the hell?
What the hell?
But someone reminded me, this reminded them of Eraserhead, where the boss comes out and goes, "Okay, Paul." I was like, oh yeah, okay, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
But initially, I was like, that is so bizarre to just have like a quick scene between two characters and having one just start screaming at the other.
Yeah. And you know what? You could be onto something, because they literally just brought her in just to tell her about the ring and get confirmation about Jane, and then she's out. So
right. And the look that Gordon and Albert give each other, again, they're very telling.
Mm-hmm.
So Gordon here is talking about Truman, talking about the two Coopers, and I think it's interesting that, see, when Frank tells Gordon that that Harry's sick, Gordon doesn't relay that here. So according to Albert, he's thinking that Harry told him this about two Coopers. Yeah. And the last time we saw Albert and Harry together, they were giving each other a hug. Hey, looking good, Harry, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So I was a little surprised that Albert wasn't like, well, how is Harry? I didn't, you know, that there wasn't a mention of that. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it is what it is. Now we have this black and white French France sequence here. Some people have accused Lynch of why go all the way to France to shoot this thing, because it's just kind of a quick moment, especially to take Kyle with you with the with him only having half his face there. But he was having an art exhibit at across the street from where they were filming here, so he had to be here anyway. And look, they probably didn't bring a big crew with them. This looks like a digital camera. You know, the whole thing's digital anyway, but it doesn't look like to do this secret, they probably didn't have like 75 people staying around here. Mm-hmm. So
it's beautiful. It's beautifully done though. Like it's kind of mesmerizing. I love it.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful. And I think it's funny that so many people, you know, like a lot of other things in this series, oh, you know, Monica Bellucci is going to be playing Judy, or she's playing Monica Bellucci.
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't see that coming.
No. And this whole thing about, you know, we live inside a dream, and then he brings up Philip Jeffries. I mean, we got our actually earlier mention that Gordon Cole and Philip Jeffries were the first two officers that were there on the Blue Rose case, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. I never expected Gordon Cole and Philip Jeffries to be partners. So that's surprising.
Yeah.
But this thing about bringing Philip Jeffries in, and then they had the actor Nathan Frizzell do the overdub. They changed the line. Mm-hmm. I think he says, was it?
Who do you think that is there instead of this is?
Right, exactly. So, but to bring in a new actor to overdub David Bowie, which I have to say, he did a pretty good job, because I didn't even realize it. I thought they had just used an alternate take from Fire Walk with Me. That says to me that if we don't see Philip Jeffries later, we're definitely going to hear Philip Jeffries later.
Yeah.
Because there's no point in bringing in an actor to overdub if you're not going to use that voice again.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, that it was exciting that there's sorry, I'm distracted by David Bowie.
Right. I was a little surprised that they didn't utilize anything from the missing pieces with the above the convenience store scene here. I thought maybe we were going to get a tip off to that as well. But again, Cole's just relaying what he saw.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny how both of them completely forgot about this because, you know, this is an instance
I
in
think a
your
lot of
life.
I think a lot of Twin Peaks fans wanted to forget about this scene for many years, but you know.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. I love it. But the fact that Gordon and Albert are saying that they didn't even remember this had happened. I mean, what happens to the surrounding people when Black Lodge stuff happens?
Well, and all that static electricity, and then the point where Albert says, you know, he was here, you know, we had a, you know.
But they had to check the cameras to verify that because they actually couldn't remember even at the time.
Right.
So
I'm more interested in this, you know, who's getting what sandwich right now. That's what matters to me here. I love this scene. This is one of my favorite scenes of the episode. The fact that they just immediately arrest Chad.
yeah.
But this surprised me because if they were watching him for a long time, they should have arrested him like in the first episode. Because why allow him to continue to be a jerk to all these people?
Yeah. And why didn't he tell him why they were arresting him either?
And yeah, they don't read him as Miranda rights either.
Yeah.
But I like how Hawk goes right back to the, you know, the roast beef and cheese here.
Yeah. It's so good. This is just, I just love everything about this show.
I think people would have been, I think the naysayers of this new series would have been more on board if it had been, if every episode in the first 5 or 6 had been like this one, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, but I love this aerial shot of the trees. It's beautiful. We had a viewer write in, and he went to all of these locations after this episode aired and took pictures of the area, and everything you see in this scene is there. Even the Jackrabbit's Palace, you know, tree and rocks and stuff like that. It's all real there. That's not put there by the production.
Awesome.
So
I'll go there my next trip.
Yes, take lots of pictures. Hopefully Twin Peaks fans won't be like carving it down, you know, as they go.
Yeah. It's like at Ronette's Bridge. People are like, Bob was here and fire walk with me. I'm like, just stop.
Yeah, and someone misspelled Maddie on it too. So
oh, jeez.
you hear the electricity and the wires, and so obviously we are right on the cusp of society and the woods. You know, this is the real Blair Witch Project here. 4 police officers go into the woods.
I totally want one of those knapsacks, let me tell you. I wanted Twin Peaks Sheriff's Department backpack. Why couldn't that be on the Showtime site, not some of the weird stuff they have?
I wonder what was going on with these actors. You know, when they were walking in the woods at this point, they were thinking, we're really back in Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's not a lot of music here as far as I remember. It seems like it's just more like ambient sounds, but you definitely get a mood and a feeling. Definitely what Lynch loves to do. And they really kind of milk this scene, and I loved every second of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Even just the time that they spend watching them walk and, you know, doing the shots of the trees and stuff. It's all perfect. Like they just did such a beautiful job putting this together.
I wonder, like, who was the person that sought out this location. We need a Jackrabbit's Palace. Where you know, someone's just spelunking through the in the woods, and they go, "I found it."
Yeah.
But yeah, it's at this point, you think almost all of them are going to just disappear.
Well, yeah, there's a threat of that, that's for sure, because we have no idea. We're expecting, I mean, first we were all speculating there's going to be like a showdown where everyone's going to meet up there at 253, and no, it's just them. They just got their sandwiches and they're just going for a walk.
Right. Yeah, everyone assumed it was going to be like a Tarantino like
yeah, exactly.
Bloodbath or something.
And that's what's so beautiful about this show, and what's so fun about this journey of doing these videos and looking at all these things online, is that we are all 100% wrong all the time. And it is so fun. So that's why people that do the spoilers and stuff, like, it's so rare in life that you get to be surprised and, you know, get your brain moving this way. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. We got 3 weeks left. That's it. So.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. This is like one heck of a thing to find out in the woods.
Yeah. Yeah.
They probably just found like a tree that fell down. They're just like, we'll make this we'll make this Jackrabbit Slim, or Jackrabbit's Palace Slim. Jackrabbit Slim is Tarantino. That's from Pulp Fiction. What the hell am I talking about?
And someone had said too that they're like, oh, it reminds us of like the White Lodge or wherever the fireman, the giant, is kept. And I'm like, no, it's just a tree.
But it also looks like we're getting closer to where Major Briggs was sitting on that throne in that episode. Where they showed like like there was like this like wall of like plants behind him. Where
yeah.
So at this point, are you just assuming that where the fireman is, that this is the White Lodge?
Yeah. I always, well, yeah.
I always thought the White Lodge was kind of like the Black Lodge, like not of this world, but part of this world. The White Lodge here seems like it's in outer space.
Yeah. It's definitely a lot more different than what I thought, but I think or
I actually thought you had to go through the Black Lodge to get to the White Lodge, like it was connected. But I might be wrong here.
Yeah, I don't know.
So they have
I think it's safe to say that that's the White Lodge. So wouldn't you agree?
To me, I'm not going to agree to anything until they state it.
Yeah.
So they go 253 yards at 2:53 in the afternoon. Of course, we know how crucial 253 is supposed to be. There's so many numbers in this series. It's been hard to keep track of all of them.
Yeah.
But so out of all the four to get zapped to the White Lodge, as you used to call it, we shouldn't be shocked that Andy's the one that goes.
It was the perfect choice.
Everybody else probably would have said something. Andy doesn't say one word to the giant. He just takes it all in. But if you look back at the series, it does make sense, right? I mean, Andy is the one in the owl cave to swipe at the owl with the pickaxe and get it to the point where the gold happens. He's the one that discovers that it's indeed a map to the Black Lodge. Through his silliness, he's the one that discovers Leo's shoes.
Yeah.
So I mean, and this on the smoke and this reveal of Naito out in the woods with this bubbling cauldron, which reminded me a lot of that tub in The Missing Pieces with Sam Stanley. Like it looks like a lot like the same liquid that he was bubbling.
Oh,
that Cooper was looking at.
Oh, could be.
we don't know, but you have to admit this is the shocker.
Oh, 100%.
Because nobody expected Naito to be ever released into this world. This is the first time we've ever seen something like this where, well, I guess Bob and the One-Armed Man could come out of the lodges, whatever, but this is on a whole different level here.
Yeah.
Because she's a minor character. And so for her to be gaining this much importance is surprising. It makes me really think if she's not Judy in some way.
Yeah, I can't even. I mean, I was completely shocked when I saw this or heard about this. It just blew my mind. Like, of all the people that they could have, or all the things that they could have done here, they bring her back, and it's brilliant. Like, it was such a good idea.
And why her and not Ronette?
Well, yeah. I hope that we still see her at some point too.
Right.
I don't want her to just be a throwaway.
So what's interesting here is at this point, Andy gets sucked into the White Lodge, but at the other place, Gordon was going to get sucked to like the convenience store or something like that. So obviously there's different portals go to different places, and people have commented the fact that they put the dirt in their pockets is a way of grounding them so they return back to their spot.
That makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
I like that a lot, because later in this episode, we have Freddy telling James that he got sucked into a portal as well and met the fireman or the giant. So it's like the giant is like creating almost like and we don't know how many other people, right? He's creating like an army of people to combat whatever, evil is coming in to this world or is already there.
Mm-hmm.
It's surprising. Like, why is he amassing all these people?
We still have no idea.
No, we don't.
And boop, he's gone. Oh, it's so good.
And I love the black and white. I just
Yeah.
digital technology in black and white makes everything look beautiful.
Yeah.
And he doesn't say anything. It's not like, where am I? What am I? It's like almost when Andy gets spiritual, it's, things are getting real.
Deep. And I think too, like just him, watching the vortex and stuff, like he seemed totally prepared for whatever was going to happen. So he doesn't need to say anything. He's just going to be like, okay, this is happening. Let's go. What can I do?
Could you argue that because he accompanied Agent Cooper on the original cases, that he is more understanding of this kind of thing?
No, I just think it's because well, I mean, it's between him and Hawk, right? But I think Hawk.
Wasn't he with Truman at the end of season 2, like when they're waiting outside the Black Lodge? So he's aware that people have disappeared and come and gone in the woods before.
Yeah, but Andy has like the purest and truest heart of all of them. There's, I mean, apart from Hawk, but I think his his allegiance lies with his own heritage and his own people of what they believe and all these types of things, which is, well, still part of the White Lodge and Black Lodge too. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just think it was amazing that they took Andy, and that was the best choice.
And we have this kind of like genie in the bottle type of thing going on.
Yeah. I still can't figure out what that is. Is it like a big, huge wooden pine cone?
I don't know. It's David Lynch's lament configuration from Hellraiser. So we get these two portholes, and Annie's just like, what on earth is going on here?
And I love that he's backwards. I'm like, I love that, because like Cooper's never backwards, but I really like that they did that with Andy. So
right.
I would have liked to hear him speak backwards, actually. That'd be pretty interesting.
So we have the mother showing up here, again spewing out the stuff from the atom bomb, and we see the Bob bubble. He's probably like, oh god, this again. Yeah. and again the convenience store. I mean, I was like, oh my lord, this we see now is okay. Now they're tying in part 8. It's not just a standalone prequel episode. It's now, being tied into the current series. With the electricity from Fire Walk with Me, every time Laura would see the telephone wires and stuff, we'd get that. And again with the girl screaming and then it goes to color, and now we get the red drapes in color, and then Laura with the angels. And I gotta say, I've said it before, but okay. Listen, I know people really love Fire Walk with Me now, but if you didn't like Fire Walk with Me, this new series is putting Fire Walk with Me in such a context now that it's no longer just the last word in Twin Peaks, and people are, like, oh god, really? We already knew all this nonsense. Now they're putting all this stuff in real context, so that it makes Fire Walk with Me so much better to those who didn't like it, right? Because now you're not just getting the feature film sequel to the series. In a 2-hour movie, you're getting an 18-hour next series. Now all this stuff with Andy and Lucy, I might be wrong, but I'm thinking this has something to do with Wally Brando. Some people are saying no, this is probably a future thing, like all hell's breaking loose and Andy is protecting Lucy. I don't know, but to all those who think that Wally Brando is not really their kid or is an adopted child, I'm thinking, because it just seems more like a hospital corridor than anything. But who knows?
And the biggest shocker, why is he surprised by this telephone pole?
Because I don't know. I mean, the fact that it's a 6 is it's just a callback for us, but and it's flashed 3 times, so 666, and the color gets brighter each time. But You guys have better eyes than I do, because I didn't even notice that stuff.
But no, I love how Fire Walk with Me is like, it's like a guidebook now almost. You know, it's I haven't watched it since this has been on, but I should, just because it's fantastic.
Well, you should, and again, no matter how much you liked it or didn't like it or whatever, it just puts it all into context now. Like
Yeah.
even like throwaway little moments of Laura looking up at the telephone wires. Well, now it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I love this whole thing of seeing all of the officers walking around, and some people are saying, oh, it's just, it's them waiting for Andy or them being displaced, and I'm almost thinking it's like it's alternate timelines going on. It's where it's like people say if you are in a room and if you've been in the room before, you're still in that room from before. You just don't see yourself because you're on a different timeline.
Yeah.
So that's what that makes me think of. But then when Andy just appears, he doesn't walk around the corner. He appears holding Naito.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden he starts speaking like he's the one in control.
Yeah. He's so articulate and so to the point and assertive in what he's saying. I see all the guys coming together kind of like if there was any type of weirdness in timelines, they all finally come together and they're all on the same page. That's incorrect, obviously, but that's just what I thought when I first saw it. But I love that part. I love everything about this whole sequence. It's so good.
And, with only 4 episodes left, I think it's going to be a ride the rest of the time. I don't think we're going to have Dougie tying his shoes for 10 minutes in the next few episodes. I could be wrong, but
I mean, I kind of miss Dougie a little bit.
Yeah, because Cooper's only in this for one shot in Paris and the picture to Andy's vision. That's it. It's like pretty much
and the Fire Walk with Me thing, but that doesn't count.
Right. But I'm saying that's it. Kyle is like pretty much non-existent in this in this episode. Now, this scene, I have to say, to me, this is David Lynch black comedy at a perfect level.
Yeah.
Having Naito, and we're going to assume this is Billy. No, you don't think so? No. You don't think Zombie Man is Billy?
No, I don't.
Really?
I thought that Billy was the guy that that Andy was talking to with the truck.
It's
so
not.
he's got long hair. It's not?
No, that's not Billy.
Who was that then?
I don't remember his name, but I don't think that's Billy.
Oh. Huh.
Now I just
maybe it is Billy then.
Because the fact that he has blood in his mouth, but I would just be surprised if the sheriff's station wouldn't contact whoever. But again, he can't talk, so but you would think they would check his driver's license or something and call his next of family members or something.
Yeah.
It is a small town after all. But having him doing this mumbling and having Naito going and Chad having to sit and listen to it, good for them, because Chad needs to be tortured a little bit.
Oh yeah. No, I'm very curious about that, and just, I mean, he's got this bandage on his face, but then he's got like string that's basically tied around his face,
right?
Which I don't understand, and he's obviously leaking engine oil out of his mouth.
It's not blood.
No, I mean it looks like engine oil when you look at the puddle.
Okay, yeah, and a lot of people they're reminded of the scene at the end of the pilot of the original series with Bobby and Mike barking at James in this scene.
Yeah,
you're right. This puddle does kind of look like oil.
Yeah.
That is the nastiest sink that Naito has in her cell, I have to just say. You would think that someone would have time to like clean that.
Yeah.
Because when Ben was here in the holding cell, it looked much cleaner.
Well, he was cleaning it himself.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Now we're to the scene with James and Freddie here. Or Frankie, I mean. Right? Frankie? Freddie. So some people have told me that the Woodsman reminds them of Nutcrackers because of the way that they used to, I guess, have Woodsman Nutcrackers and the fact that they're grabbing people's heads and smashing them. And here is, you know, James's friend here with the green glove smashing walnuts.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm thinking, is this guy here just to crush woodsman heads? Is a woodsman going to grab his head and he's going to grab the woodsman's head and crush it instead with his, power glove here?
That's an interesting thought for sure.
Because he says his destiny is in Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Well, what does that mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's not to be a security guard at the Great Northern with Jimmy Hurley. So, but yeah, what is it?
God, I always thought James would have, if he stayed in town, I always thought that he would have, been working with Ed, not at the Great Northern.
Yeah. It's a little different, but I mean, obviously he's had some sort of trauma or tragedy. So,
right. And I love the idea that Donna died in the motorcycle accident. And so when he's singing Just You, it's in memorial of her. And
I can get on board with that. Yeah,
I think that's great, because that explains why he would be singing that song 25 years later in the Roadhouse, singing it to a married woman now. Again, another married woman. Right. Yeah. I think it's interesting too that Bobby is the deputy and James is the security guard. When, if anything, you would almost think that James would have been in the Twin Peaks Sheriff's Department because of Big Ed's ties to Harry and the Bookhouse Boys and all that.
Well, yeah.
Working for Ben Horn, in a way, even though Ben Horn seems to be a nice guy in the series, almost is kind of like going to work for the devil.
Yeah. It's not the best person to work for, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, will we ever know more backstory of what James has been what's been happening to him over the last 25 years? I don't know. At least we get to see him and we get to see where he's at, and he seems relatively healthy, committing adultery, but whatever.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't done a thing with Renee. He just looks at her longingly.
Well, okay. But why is she crying so much?
Because I don't know. Maybe she wants to go out with him, but she's married, and that explains who we don't see at the table with her. Right? They want to keep that a surprise. Now, here's a scene that's really long. Freddie's telling this story here, and again though, because we've come off the Andy scene, we understand the context of what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I would think the way the series has been playing, you would think that this scene would be like in episode 6 or something, and we would have no clue what he was talking about, and then we'd find out now. But it's getting so close to the end now that they're tying things together so that it's much more easier to connect everything.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, sometimes the way that these, like the last few episodes, the way that they've been running, it makes me think that if there really was just an original 9, that they would have looked more like this. That's just what I think. Like, I wonder if the 18 more subplots and extra characters were just added to kind of stretch it out a bit. But if we had 9, I would have expected them to be more like 14 and 11 and 7 and 9.
But if we had 9, think about how fast the story would have been told. Now, I know some people would say, well, there hasn't been a lot of story in this new series, but
there's lots of story.
But it would have been so crammed together that we would have felt exhausted at 9.
And it's been a great speed to get us prepared for even just this episode, the craziness that happens in it. Like, we're ready for this now. Like, we really want things to speed up and to progress. So they've done a beautiful job in doing this. Some of it has been frustrating, but very, very little. And when you can look 14 hours back now, it's near perfect. That's what I think. So
I'm curious what this whole thing is going to be like on a rewatch. And I don't mean like, I know a lot of us go back and rewatch the episodes over and over again, but I mean like a rewatch where you sit and you watch, let's say 8-9 hours in a row.
Yeah.
Or do you think it's a show that even though it's one movie, kind of still needs to be broken up and watched in pieces.
We won't know until we're done.
Very true.
I'd be more than happy to, get a pot of coffee and a bucket of chicken and just sit and watch this whole thing for 18 hours. Like, that
a pot of coffee and a bucket of chicken.
Hey, why not? Then you don't have to get up, right? You just eat your chicken and drink your coffee and you're good to go. Wait, that's what I always go to. I just go out and get a bucket of chicken. And I never get buckets of chicken. I don't know. I'm just weirdo sometimes. So. Anyway.
Yeah, so obviously Lynch and Frost Frost is bringing in his Fantastic Four influences here.
Yeah, right. I was like, is this a Marvel show?
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Mark Frost did write the first Fantastic Four movies, and including Rise of the Silver Surfer. So
I did not know that.
Yes, he did. The ones with Jessica Alba. Yeah, he wrote those movies.
Wow.
I mean, of course, there were lots of other, probably rewrites, but he is the one that got credit for both of those screenplays.
Well, that's neat.
So the fact that he has like basically a superhero with a green glove showing up now.
This guy reminds me of the Freddie Highmore? Who's the guy from Bates Motel? Freddie Highmore?
Freddie. Is it Freddie Highmore? Highmore.
Okay, yeah, he reminds me of him a little bit. He's so cute.
I really hope this whole thing comes down to like just a giant free-for-all fight in the woods between the Black Lodge, the White Lodge, and everybody else in the middle. How amazing. It'd be like, okay, for those of you who like the Buffy references out there, imagine Graduation Day. How they all like all ripped off their gowns and they all had weapons ready to fight the mayor. That's what I want in this whole series.
Oh.
How the whole town just turns and just starts firing into the Black Lodge, and that'd be awesome. Ed just going in there with a machete, just chopping, the tree down, the evolution of the arm.
Oh my gosh!
Epic slow motion shots of it.
Yeah. Nadine gets sliced in half. Oh no, that was the end. Spoiler. Like Anya.
Yeah, it would be or maybe they should let Nadine go into the Black Lodge and, give them silent drapes.
Well, yeah. Oh, so, Nadine in there would be hilarious. Oh my gosh.
All right, so James goes into this kind of boiler room area, which I was more concerned about the sound, going, okay, it's basically the Josie sound that we've been talking about. But I've had people contact me saying, hey, this reminds me of is the alternate ending of the international pilot when they find Bob in the boiler room underneath the hospital.
And some videos have been talking about that and saying, oh, this is where the boiler room, it was not the Great Northern Hotel, it was the hospital.
Yes, it was. It was in the hospital, everybody. But I just love the fact that he was talking to a guy named Freddie, and then, we're in the boiler room. It's very Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, geez. And the first watch, I did not catch the humming at all because I was so scared as to what was going to jump out and eat James. I didn't even think about the humming.
Yeah. So, I really do hope this humming turns out to be Josie.
Yeah, that'd be so great.
I almost would think it would be a missed opportunity if it wasn't, just because of the fact that she's supposed to be in the walls.
Yeah.
But I think we stop here at the door, right? I don't think we open it. So God help us what's behind that door.
Well, we only got a couple more hours to wait, and maybe we'll find out.
Elks Point Bar. Now, Eric, who's been on these podcasts, he also has his own video channel, Plateau TV. He actually lives up here. He lived in Snoqualmie for a while, and now he lives in Everett. And he told me that this bar that she goes to is in real life is across from a really great steakhouse, and the exterior and the interior of this place is intact. But him and his wife, I guess, got really surprised when Sarah Palmer's walking into this location.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, on the Twin Peaks Worldwide Facebook page, we posted up like the address and you know how to get there and stuff like that. So, Mandy, if you do go here ever for a drink or something to eat, don't eat a trucker.
I make no promises.
But one thing I mentioned with Hal on the last instant reaction or initial reaction, the bad guys aren't just okay, we're bad guys, and you know, I mean, they're like really bad guys in this series. You know, this guy can't just walk up to Sarah Palmer and say like, "Hi, can I buy you a drink?" And she's like, "No," and he's like, oh, "Okay," and you know, and just kind of make small talk with her, and then she like bites him. No, I mean, he has to be a complete jerk.
Yeah,
So
like the foulest of the foul.
Right.
Wow.
It's almost like nobody is allowed to just kind of be gray. You know, you're either white or you're black in terms of of your good nature here. And so that's again, it's like those guys that try to steal Dougie's car. They couldn't just walk up to Dougie's car and try to turn it on and blow up. No, they're throwing rocks at kids before they blow up. It's very much the Richard Horn thing. Remember when he was obviously in the Roadhouse, and he's the first scene we see him where he grabs the young girl by the throat.
Yeah.
Nobody's just allowed to just be bad. They're just really bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe in another show I would be like, okay, this is just over the top writing. But because we have things of young girls throwing up in cars and kids with guns firing into the double R, it seems like just evilness has taken over this area.
Yeah.
Or this show, I should say. Yeah. It's like almost having two Coopers out in this world is just throwing it into extremes.
Yeah. And David Lynch too is also, his bad guys are the baddest of the bad. You know, like they're not just like, oh, maybe they've got redeeming qualities. No, they're just pure, dark, evil, horrible.
But we've had so many of them in this series. That's what I'm saying. It's like
in this series, yeah.
Right. That it seems to illustrate something more than just, oh, it's just a bad guy. Because there's like usually one Frank Booth, one Bobby Peru, one Mr. Eddie. It's not an entire series full of evil bad characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know where this guy got his shirt that says "Truck You." That looks like something he made himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's just out of control with his terminology here.
Ugh, so awful. He was on Stranger Things for a brief second in one scene. Did you watch Stranger Things?
I've seen parts of it. I haven't seen the whole thing, but I know. It's right up my alley. I know, but
it's amazing.
I love the poster for the season 2 that's coming out. Looks great. Mm-hmm. So let's get to this. Sarah Palmer takes her face off and eats this guy. But before that, it looks like a frog moth leg comes out of her head. And we yes. And then we also get Laura Palmer's smile apparently showing up.
Oh, in the black, you mean? No, I thought those were daggers. Could they be frog legs or frog legs?
That's what I thought they were.
What? Okay, let's look.
All right.
No, those are daggers.
Daggers?
Yeah.
Okay, so then we have this hand here, and the spirit finger blackened out. Laura's smile.
Whoa.
Is that what Sarah Palmer is talking to David Lynch about in the Between Two Worlds, where she says she wears her happy face?
Oh, I don't even know.
And now
I've only watched that a couple times. I don't remember what the dialogue was, but
that was written by Lynch too. It wasn't ad-lib. So okay. So here's my question: do you think this is something that happened in the 25 years in between her saying to Major Briggs, "I'm in the Black Lodge with Dale Cooper," or do you think this explains perhaps that she was complicit with Leland, with Laura? I mean, has she always been this way? And so therefore that's why she didn't step in and help. Maybe, like Lynch gives Leland kind of the way out by saying that he was possessed by Bob. Is this him trying to explain Sarah's reluctance to help Laura, saying that she was part of the evil too?
My gut reaction is no. Um, I, but I can see it more being that she's so shook up by the events of what happened with Leland and what happened with Laura that she explores the dark side afterwards because she's so broken and she's so at the end of herself that she doesn't know where to go. And you either choose good or bad, right? So if she just goes to choose bad, and maybe something happens there, who knows, maybe Leland's doppelganger is out and possessing her, or I don't know. It was so shocking. And so, because I will be upfront, you told me about this before it happened, and I screamed and freaked out. You're like, yeah, she takes her face off and eats a trucker. And I'm like, that's not even possible. It's not even possible. And I'm just like, you've got to be kidding. Then you show me pictures and I'm like, ah. I have no idea. I cannot even guess at this point because this is so far-fetched and so crazy and awesome. I have absolutely no idea what they're doing with this.
But it makes me wish that we had 15 more episodes because I'm like, how are they going to do this all in 4 episodes?
Well, I mean, tonight will be a good teller too as to how quickly they move the story on and what parts they choose to tell us. So I don't know. I'm still so completely shocked by that. I didn't think at all that was Laura's smile until I saw that picture that someone had taken far too much time to put together, which is amazing, by the way. That is terrifying.
Wait, you think that takes too much time to figure out? What about the fact that this is the water and this is the well is the same length of time as the boxing TV glitch? It's there.
Yeah. I was like, you can volunteer your time, like help the homeless or something.
No, listen. I'm glad there's people out there like this because I don't have time in my life to do that, and I wouldn't even think to do that. So I'm so happy that there's people out there that dedicate their time to this. Makes me so happy to be a Twin Peaks fan here. Okay, so here we are at the Roadhouse, and we have Emily Stoffel, Lynch's wife, here. Her sister is also in the series. She plays the headless corpse of Ruth.
Yeah.
It's a great part.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, I guess, were thinking that this girl was going to be saying that Audrey was her mom, which I'm like, really? Why would they think that? But I guess because Audrey was wanting to be with Billy. I don't know. But then that would make this girl maybe Linda. But I don't know.
She's not in a wheelchair.
She's sitting down though.
True. Yeah, that's very true. But I don't think that aren't we under the impression that Tina and Charlie were having an affair, not Tina and Billy? Because this kind of opens the door to Tina and Billy, correct?
I don't know. It's too many people.
I know. I can't remember that conversation.
I'm sure people in the chat will be throwing it out to us.
Yeah.
I like when the actors try to look off and pretend they're listening to the music in the
Yeah.
But I thought this was a pretty decent song too to end it on. At least it seemed like it tied in with the episode thematically.
She's a great singer too.
Yeah. Some of the other bands I feel like just kind of just end it with a whimper, and this kind of just felt like it brought it to a close here. And I love the crowd shots because it's the same crowd shots from the first part when Chromatics were playing. It's not the same. It's not the same shot, but it's the same crowd shot.
Yeah.
So funny.
I do hope there's some sort of edit, or when they bring this out on Blu-ray, that they do something to kind of melt it together properly, or melt it together in a different type of way where there's no Roadhouse stuff. It literally just flows.
But they can't do that because some of it does tie in with like the dialogue and stuff.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah,
Yeah,
it would
I
be
don't know.
it would be interesting because like was it that band Au Revoir Simone? They put up videos of their performance from the scene from the series on their YouTube channel, but they have it without the credits, even though it's the same scene.
Oh,
So obviously, you know, Lynch and Showtime have allowed the bands to put up their scenes up on their YouTube channels without the credits rolling. So
interesting.
something to be said there.
There was. I'm just watching David Bowie's name flash up there, and there was another podcast that I really like. I love these guys. I don't remember their name right now, but
No offense.
yeah, sorry.
Sorry for the we can't call you out here.
Yeah, but they had said because they had dedicated this episode to David Bowie that we wouldn't see him again, but that's actually not the case because Catherine E. Coulson, she was dedicated to the first episode that she was in, but we've seen her multiple times since. So
same thing with part 3 of Miguel Ferrer.
Yes, Miguel, Don. No, Don Davis we haven't seen again, but yeah. So I think it's GameSpot guys or something like that.
The GameSpot universe, is that it?
Yeah, they're so good. I love their videos, but
thank you for subscribing to us, though. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. we could see David Bowie again. The credits mean nothing, is what I'm saying.
It's very possible, but I think we're going to be hearing from David Bowie's character again because Nathan Frizzle was brought in to do the audio.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can't believe tonight, in less than 2 hours, we are going to have part 15.
Yeah. It's so exciting. And like Sunday nights, I wish it was longer. I wish we were like, back in Buffy times where we actually got 23 weeks of television. But this is no cable show goes to 18. So this is spectacular anyway, that we've had the whole summer to sit with this and be excited about watching live TV again. It's awesome. I love it.
All right, let's go to the chat here, see what people are saying. Alice is saying Freddy's story is actually very cool. Wilton says, I find his story full of inconsistencies. I guess the giant speaking to him, I guess. George says James has always been cool. Well, I guess they're back in the Freddy scene still.
No.
Wilton says that's not his real accent. The actor does accents on YouTube.
Oh,
that just broke Mandy's heart. George says I'm saving all of my reservations until after part 18. Leonard says she's making monkey noises. So yeah. Well, one thing that I noticed is when Sarah goes into the bar, if you listen carefully, you can hear the lion sound from the end of part 2 when she's watching that animal video. So it kind of explains why she bites the trucker in the throat, kind of like that lion does.
Interesting.
Carolina says Mandy is a walking IMDb. She identifies everyone.
Actually, I got a lot of useless information up here, and I'm usually in my circle. I'm the go-to of just knowing random people. It's hilarious, and I love that. So thank you. I take that as a compliment.
Let's see here. Pineapple Squid says the evolution of Philip Jeffries will be Ziggy Stardust.
Oh my gosh. And Gillian Anderson will be on Twin Peaks finally.
George says, will there be a live instant reaction tonight? I'm thinking I probably will. Why not? But make sure you guys subscribe to the VidMe channel as well. Because obviously the more subscribers we have over there, the better it is. So yeah, it's we're getting closer. We're less than 2 hours away, Mandy.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, but I thought this was a great episode.
Yeah, this was definitely one of the best.
So, all right. Well, I guess that concludes us. Hopefully, later this week we'll get together and do part 15.
Yes.
Sounds great. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for your support and all your comments. And we really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch these videos, making us a part of your busy day. We'll see you in a few hours. Hal and I are going to be doing the instant reaction. And yeah, and we're embarking on a new journey now, Mandy. We still have the YouTube channel, but we're moving everything over to VidMe now, so that we actually have a safe place to put up the videos and not have to worry about them just being ripped down at YouTube's convenience. So anyway, stay subscribed to the main channel, please, guys. But if you guys want to see the videos after the fact in their posted form, head on over to the VidMe channel and subscribe there. So, all right, guys, we will see you soon. Take it easy. Enjoy part 15. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.